Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I'm using a different platform, so I'm hoping I'm not making mistakes. Today is day 21 of our journey through the Beta Satan devotional study, and today's topic is the Unforgiving Servant. Our scripture for today comes from Matthew, the 18th chapter, the 21st through the 22nd verse, and it says, "Then Peter came to him and said, 'Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Up to 7 times?' Jesus said to him, 'I do not say to you up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7. If you're following along in the book, we're reading the remainder of chapter 11 today, beginning with the heading, The Unforgiving Servant. And the book says, Jesus taught Peter and the disciples that forgiving others is based on God's unlimited forgiveness. His forgiveness is unlimited. To emphasize this, Jesus told the parable of the unforgiving servant. And that's a very familiar story for us, where there is a servant. He owes his master a huge sum of money, something we say could be an equivalent of $50 billion in our money today. $50 billion. And his master, out of his mercy and grace, decides to forgive him that debt. And then you see he's so happy, I'm forgiven. He goes along, and then he goes back to his life, and then he finds a brother that owes him what the word says is 100 denarii, and a denarii is about what would be a day's wage. So it's a third of a year's worth of money, a third of a year's salary. So say it's $25,000, right? Or something of that matter. So he was forgiven $50 billion, but somebody else owes him $25,000. And he takes his brother by the neck and says, "You're going to pay me back every dime that you owe me." Well, people saw what he did. So he was just forgiven $50 billion. And he threw his brother in jail over $25,000. And it got back to the master who had forgiven him. And he said, "You evil servant. You are so evil. You are going to, number one, you're going to be tormented, thrown in jail and tormented. Number two, you're going to have to pay me back every dime that you owe me. And third, I'm not going to forgive you because you haven't forgiven him." Right? So this is the story that Jesus told, the parable that he told them told the disciples when it came down to forgiveness, that it is something that he takes very seriously. It is not just a character flaw. It's not something that we can set aside. It's not a small sin. It is something that will keep us out of heaven. It will keep us out of heaven. The book says the offenses we hold against each other compared to our offenses against God are like $10,000 or $25,000 compared to $50 billion. We may have been treated badly by someone else, but it does not compare with our transgressions against God. When we realize that Jesus delivered us from eternal death and torment was what your forgiveness bought you, we will release others unconditionally. And today's exercise asks us to rank the following offenses that are most difficult to the least difficult for us to forgive. So we're thinking about, if someone does these things to us, where do we rank them? If someone gossips against you, if someone physically or emotionally abuses you, where do we rank that? Is that a 1 or 2? Someone physically or emotionally abusing someone I love. Oh, that's a hard one for me, because I'm ready to fight, right? Someone lying to me. Can't tolerate a liar. Someone stealing from me. We can't tolerate a thief, right? Someone manipulating me. The gaslighters in our world. It asks us to rank those things. And where we find, are they hard to forgive? Or are they easy? Is it hard to forgive? Or is it easy? Because forgiveness was never advertised as being easy. It was advertised as being mandatory. So you're going to have to figure out how to do it. So we have to ask God to help us, because someone stealing against you, someone beating up on somebody someone trying to gaslight you. All of these things create an emotional response, right? And we want to get back at it. We want to be compensated for it, right? But the word says that we have to forgive. Oh boy. So today we're going to write a prayer asking God to remove the blockages in our heart that have been caused by unforgiveness. We have blockages in our heart, separations from God in our heart because of unforgiveness. And it asks us to pray specifically for the individuals whose offenses have caused the blockage. My God. Pray specifically for the individuals whose offenses have caused the blockage. All right. This is an assignment for the mature. Let's get at it, okay? Have a great day, and we'll talk with you later. Bye-bye.